Hey everyone, we're back home. If you've been following the recent series of adventure videos where we were out chasing the rally, I think the last video that aired what was the ending of the rally, and we are now back home. Right, and look, it's Sully. Sully's back. Sully's not fixed yet. Sully still needs a new engine. I did get more clarity with the dealership when I picked him up yesterday that it is a issue in cylinder 6. They did the leak down test. They did a bore scope analysis of the cylinder, and yeah, it's not good. So still trying to figure that out. And now that we're home, it means we have to figure out what to do with either Poppy or Boo. One of these Jeeps has got to go. Now that we're home, we have some hard decisions to make. But that is not the subject of this video. Just giving you a little update. There's still 3 more videos that will come out post-rally of adventures that Kara and I did in Montana. And Wyoming. We had never been to Montana before, and very little bit in Wyoming, and so we wouldn't have had fun there after the rally. But in this video, I want to discuss the top 10 dumbest things that people do to their 4x4s. So let's get started. These are in no particular order, but we'll start with one that I keep seeing in a lot of the off-road forums. Like there's something like there's some new amazing thing to be innovated in the off-road community, and they're just really dumb. And that is these receiver hitch skid plates things. Why? That is a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. All you're doing with those things, and there's a bunch of different brands that make them now. Some even have like a roller ball, like a roller skate wheel on the back of them that's supposed to help you just kind of glide over, when you're, especially if you have a truck. But all you're doing is making a bad departure angle worse. You're not going to damage this. This is not going to get damaged. Yeah, these little wingies here. Yeah, they'll get bent, but that's just for your safety chains. You are not going to damage this right here. I know because I have drug mine all over the country, and you're not going to damage it. You'll get some, look, you'll get some scrapes on it. See, you get some little scrapes on it right here, but you're not going to damage that at all. So all you're doing is making a bad departure angle even worse. And from some of the ones I've seen, even put you in a precarious situation where you're just, kind of hanging on a few inches of metal, which would make your Jeep even more teeter-tottery than this. So don't do that. If you want to protect your hitch, do this. My Jeep is backed really close to one of my daughter's cars. But if you really want to protect your hitch, do like I did and get a high clearance bumper where the hitch is hidden. And this one's so hidden, I took it out because this rear, I think it's the Bantam bumper by Artec. This rear bumper by Artec relocates the hitch up in here, and it's super easy to take on and off. So I just leave mine off. And if you want to wheel and not worry about damaging your hitch, get a proper rear bumper with better ground clearance that relocates the hitch. So that's what I did, and it has worked fantastic. And no, I'm not hurting my tire on the back here. Number 2, I've talked about, and these are in no particular order. I've talked about these before, but limb risers. I mean, unless you need a place to hang your laundry, or you just like the way they look. Preface, this is all for actual off-road rigs, not mall crawlers, not pavement princesses. You can do whatever you want to those if you think it looks cool and adds to the, to the appeal to be ducked or something in the parking lot. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the actual serious off-roaders. Limb risers. If you just think it through, you would understand they don't do anything. The idea is you have a wire that goes from here to up here or something, and the idea is a branch comes and hits the wire, and instead of hitting your windshield, the wire guides it up and over onto the stuff you've got on your roof. And so the idea behind it is it keeps you from limbs from smacking your windshield and breaking your windshield. But here's my 2 questions. Number 1, why are you driving through branches that are big enough and strong enough to break your windshield? Like, that's dumb. Get out, cut the branch if it's that big. And 2, why are you driving so fast through tight brush that you might hit a branch fast enough to damage your windshield? Like, if you try to put the brain power to the limb risers, it doesn't work. It didn't. The math ain't mathin'. So, number 2, no particular order, limb risers. Number 3, I've harped on this one quite a bit in other videos, but wheels, larger, 20 inches or larger. I would even say 18 inches or larger. But there are some off-road vehicles where the brake calipers are so big you can't put a 17-inch wheel on there very easily. So I'll give you the 18s. But 20 inches or larger wheels. One, if you have a pavement princess, that's just going to make your ride quality worse because you are reducing the amount of sidewall, which this has a lot of impact absorption built into the tire. And when you reduce that, this GMC Yukon or Chevy, whatever, it's got a ridiculously loud muffler, and he's got chrome wheels. I'll give you a glimpse. Yeah, and he's breaking the wheel rule. He didn't take that off-roading, obviously. But this has a lot of shock absorption built into it with the sidewall. You reduce that to a smaller sidewall, you make your ride more harsh. You also reduce your ability to air down and gain traction and comfort off-road because you risk damaging your tire when there's less sidewall. So for an actual off-road rig, I would say 17-inch wheel is the max that I would ever go with. The most modern vehicles, because of the larger brakes in them, you can't really fit a wheel smaller than a 17 on them. So Jeep, I think Toyotas do 16s. I can't remember. I'm not a Toyota guy. But the principle is the same. As small a wheel as you can fit, in most cases it's going to be about a 17 for the tire. I have driven a truck last year when we were chasing the Rebel Rally. Last year was driving a borrowed truck that had 33-inch tires with 20-inch wheels. That felt like garbage off-road. I couldn't air down. It was awful. So for an off-road rig, 20 inches plus on the wheels, that's dumb. While we're on the subject of wheels and tires, let's go to the next one, number 4. The number 4 dumb thing you can do to your off-road rig is the spare. The spare tire. Not having a matching spare, or also not carrying a spare at all. And unless you just wheel in off-road parks, where you maybe trailer your rig, or you can easily get to an area to leave your rig to go get, to swap out a spare. In that, off-road park rig type of thing, trailer queen kind of rig, I could see not carrying a spare, or maybe even a small spare. But for one where you're out on public land and stuff, your spare needs to match your tires, because a four-wheel drive vehicle, if you're in four-wheel drive, it's not good for your system to have mismatched tires, because of the spider gears. And if you it's on the front, all the wheel speed sensors. It's going to throw a bunch of codes because it's like this tire's spinning a lot faster than this tire. Something's wrong. Don't do it. Matching spare. And while you're at it, rotate the spare in. So a lot of stuff about the spare there, but not carrying a spare or having a mismatched spare. I mean, we've all seen the Jeeps with the 35s and then the factory street tires that came with it. It's just dumb. Number 5 on the list, dumbest things you can do to your off-road rig. Side steps, the kind that, you know, come off the maybe your rock rails and actually drop down to form a step. Those are dumb. I have seen so many people get hung up cresting a hill. That step digs into the dirt and boom, you're stuck. I've seen so many get damaged on rocks because they're going, they're crawling, they're trying to use their rock rails. Well, you can't because there's a step in the way that grabs the rock. And I've seen so many bent, ripped off, hung up because of steps on rock rails. Garbage truck is coming. I'm gonna wait. They're loud. There's like 2 garbage trucks in the neighborhood. Here comes another one. I don't have these issues when I'm filming out in the woods. I wish I was still out in the woods, by the way. Okay, a garbage truck just came from that direction. Why didn't he pick up that trash? I don't understand it. Anyway, carry on. If you need a step for your vehicle, get rock rails, legit sliders that also serve as a step. These from Asper 4x4 that we have on Poppy are fantastic. They are super strong. They bolt to the frame. And I mean, you can see, I mean, they make a great slider and they function as a really good step. Like that's a really good solid platform. So if you need a step, get legit rock sliders that also double as a step, that kick out from the body and give you a place to step to help get in the vehicle. The kind that drop down, those are just dumb. Okay, one of the dead giveaways for your mall crawler is anything mounted on the hood. So number 6 is anything hood mounted, such as a hood mounted light bar. You're wasting literally half of your light just shining on the hood and blocking your visibility in the process over the edges where you need to be able to see when you're off-roading. Also, hood mounted high lift jacks. I actually had someone in my, what was it? I can't remember, YouTube video or Facebook post or something. Someone commented just 2 days ago saying, agreeing with the hood mounted jack, because I made some comment about it. The hood mounted jack. He said, I know how to use a high lift or a farm jack. I know how to use one of those. I never used it because they're so stupid heavy. It was almost impossible to get it off the hood without it hitting and scratching his hood. So it was just they're just decorations. They're just decorations. If you're mounted on the hood, it's a decoration. So, and blocks visibility. Don't do that. It's dumb. All right, number 7. I harp on this a lot too. For any off-road rig, Jeep, Toyota, Nissan, Ford, whatever, don't cheap out on your suspension. Like I said, I mean, unless it's a trailer queen, within you're usually putting really quality parts on something like that, you know, you can cheap out on that. But assuming you're going to have to drive to and from the trails, and probably your off-road rig is a lot of times going to be your daily driver too, don't cheap out on your suspension. It will cost you more in the long run. It will make your driving experience much worse, and you're more prone to failures, both just around town and out on the trail. So don't cheap out on the most important thing that determines your ride quality and handling on your vehicle. Don't compromise there. Don't. So yeah, number 7, don't cheap out on your suspension. Get a quality suspension that's got all the necessary components to dial in the geometry so it drives properly and performs well, both on, most importantly, and off-road. Cheap suspensions, they're dumb. Number 8, kind of going back to the tire thing, larger tires without regearing. It's just dumb. You're adding more stress, more strain on your engine and transmission, trying to turn a larger tire than what it was designed to do from the factory without regearing. I know the diesel people are going to go, yeah, but diesel. Still applies. The diesel can handle it better, but still applies. Doesn't matter what brand. If you're gonna go larger tires, regear. We just got Poppy regeared not long ago after having it far too long with it not being regeared. So the Gladiator Rubicons come with 410 gears from the factory. We were in Colorado last year running Stony Pass. Factory 410s, 38-inch tires. 38-inch tires, 513 gears. Sully is heavier than Poppy. I was climbing Stony Pass with ease because I was regeared. Kara's Gladiator struggled. It was not having it. It was constantly shifting in between gears because it wasn't in that right range. And it was struggling to make it up some of those really, really steep climbs on Stony Pass. Sully, piece of cake, did no problem. So it makes a difference with the engine strain, especially starting out. I mean, cruising on the highway, you're gonna lose your top overdrive gears. So if you're gonna put bigger tires on your vehicles, regear properly for them, because not doing it is dumb. Number 9, and one that just makes me laugh. Cold air intakes. You are not going to see performance gains in a modern engine. Okay, modern engine. Old engines, yes, they have value, but in a modern engine, you are not going to see actual performance gains from a cold air intake, because the computer, it controls everything. Unless you actually tune the engine for the added airflow, you're not going to see performance gains out of cold air intake. What you will get is whooshy sounds, which, if that's your thing, more power to you. But what you'll also get is more dust in your engine, because the whole idea of a cold air intake is more airflow. You only get more airflow by either a much larger filter or a filter that has bigger holes in it to allow more air in. That allows more dust in. More dust in your engine is bad. It also opens you up to hydrolocking your engine much more easily. The engineers of these things are pretty smart. So here's the factory airbox for the 3.6 in a modern Jeep. It's been like this since the JKs from back in 2007-ish. But yeah, this is it, and you can see it's a closed airbox. Here's the intake, so it's actually pulling air from the hood here, not inside the engine bay. So many cold air intakes is like open, and it's not a cold air intake, it's a hot air intake, because it's sucking in all the hot air here, and all the dust that collects up in here kind of swirls. It just pulls it into the engine box, into the air filter. So, I mean, this is kind of sealed off with the engine, and it sucks in air right through here. Not air here. This is already a cold air intake. That's already what this is. So modifying this will just damage the engine, give me whooshy sounds, and make me more prone to hydrolocking. I think the best airbox mod you can do to any off-road vehicle is a snorkel. Legit cold air intake, bringing air, fresh, clean air from up here into the engine bay. I think this is one of the best engine mods you can do is a snorkel. So this is a legit cold air intake. And yes, we have seen the difference between air filters from the factory location and the higher snorkel location. The dust differences collected in the filters is significant. So your typical cold air intakes, don't do it. It's dumb. Last but not least, number 10 of the dumbest mods you can do to your off-road rig is also to the engine. Forced induction, supercharger, turbocharger. Don't do it. You're just asking for failure. So many modern engines, the Jeep 3.6 being a prime example, they're already a high compression engine. I think the compression ratios on these things is over 11-to-1. You put boost in there from a supercharger or a turbocharger is not designed to handle those kind of pressures. You'll have to turn the boost way down to get any kind of gains, which will be nominal at best, to get significant gains, you're gonna have to put more strain on this engine than it was ever designed for. And it is well documented that the 3.6 in the Jeeps will blow. That they will blow with forced induction. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That is well documented on all the social things. So don't do forced induction unless your vehicle was specifically designed for it. And again, I mean, if you're building a rock bouncer, and you're probably going to put some big old V8 in there that can take it, but you know, if you got a trailer queen and you just want some extra power, then okay. But like I said, assuming off-road rig, okay, great. What the heck? Bye. But assuming you're driving your rig to the trails, especially, you know, cross country to Moab kind of thing, or Colorado, then don't mess with this. You want this as reliable as possible. And Toyota people, don't laugh at me pointing to a Jeep, because I'm not gonna get started on that. But just keep the engine the way it's supposed to be. Don't try to make it something that was never meant to be. That's just when you get reliability issues, and could be catastrophic when you're a long way from home. So forced induction, especially on these modern engines like this, it's dumb. Well, there you go. I hope this video was maybe helpful, and maybe helped prevent you from making some major mistakes in the future on your off-road rig. But yeah, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it, I don't care. But this is my top 10 dumbest mods you can make to your off-road rig. I genuinely hope this was helpful and saved you some grief later on in life. But if you would, please like the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, check out the Patreon link in the description. If you like what we're doing and you want to consider supporting the channel, gain access to special events, special content, and all of our GPS data from our trips. Patreon link is down in the description or here on the QR code. And for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.